Thank you so much, Noah, for joining me today. I'm really excited to talk about the we, not me operating model and scaling results through collaboration, which is really a key factor to a well-functioning organization. Noah, would you mind giving us some context on your background and experience as an operations leader?
Thank you so much for having me, and it's quite an honor to be on here with you today. My background is kind of extensive. So I've spent 26 plus years in the hospitality world. I've always just loved being in kitchens and restaurants, even from a young age, just creating moments people can really remember, whether that was at home with my family, in my high school or college culinary classes, or wherever I worked. I did move from hourly positions up to managing single units and then eventually overseeing regional operations. My approach has always been to build a circle of safety. I realized early on that the job wasn't just managing labor costs or food waste. It really was ensuring every person on my team felt like they were safe enough to trust one another and cooperate. My background isn't just in running restaurants. It's really about building environments where unreasonable care for the team translates over to unreasonable care for the customers or the guests.
On that note, you've been talking a lot about this we, not me mindset on LinkedIn and that being at the core of your leadership. So, what does that actually look like in day-to-day operations, not just in theory?
We Not Me has really been a huge part of my management style, my success. I did borrow it from an old NFL coach that was in the league for quite some time. And really instituting it into more of a hospitality driven area was my goal with it. So in day-to-day ops, We Not Me looks like leaders admitting they don't have all the answers. It's about creating empowerment loops is what we want to see, where I as a leader would ask for help first. So for example, on a Tuesday morning, that would mean walking the dining room and just talking to your servers and asking them, where's the system breaking today? What can we do better? And when you admit that you need expertise to fix a problem, they stop working for you and start working with you to own that solution. It's the intentional generosity that makes people want to show up for each other.
How do you translate collaboration into something managers can actually practice during busy shifts and high pressure moments?
That's really the key point right there, is to make sure that it's happening all the time and not just when you have the time to do it. It's one of those mandatory cultures that everybody takes part of. So in the me model, a manager solves a problem, where in the we model, the team owns the solution. On that high pressure shift, this looks like cross training as a survival ritual. It's the server jumping behind the bar or the manager jumping on the line, not just because they were told to, but we've built a culture where the win is a smooth shift for everyone, not just finishing your own side work. When the kitchen is backed up and the lobby is full, that is when the me mindset takes over. Everyone retreats into their own silos and does their own thing. But I taught my managers the concept of adjust and adapt. No one wins if the bar is caught up, but the dining room fails. We practice team-based success, where the metric wasn't did you finish your station, but did we as a unit get through the rush without a single guest waiting? We're constantly playing offense to support one another before a problem even arises, and it turns a stressful shift into a really big shared win.
I love that you mentioned cross training. I feel like that's the case in so many industries, is like everyone needs to have an understanding of all the roles and what it takes. What changes have you seen in engagement, performance, or resilience when teams truly operate as we instead of me?
Their turnover drops significantly. You see discretionary effort, employees going above and beyond, not because of the bonus, but because they don't want to let their teammates down. Operationally, this translates to higher guest satisfaction scores and lower labor waste because the team is self-policing. When we moved to a we model, the team started sending belonging cues to one another. Small signals like eye contact, shared language, mutual support where they knew they could trust one another. This led to a massive spike in resilience. In the me model, an employee quits when things get hard. But when we do the we model, they stay because they don't want to leave their teammates in the lurch. Our retention numbers and internal promotion rates were our biggest wins here.
Throughout your career, your responsibility to drive operational excellence expanded to multiple locations. So, what systems or rituals helped keep teams aligned without micromanaging?
You don't want to fall into that super GM or super store manager role when you start being a leader of multiple locations at once, right? So alignment without micromanagement requires two things. You have to have super clear KPIs and you have to have consistent communication. I implemented daily team talks that weren't about me giving orders, but about the team identifying their own roadblocks. If every location knows exactly what winning the day looks like, you don't have to be there to watch them do it. Scaling across multiple locations requires decentralized command. I moved away from micromanaging tasks and toward managing the intent. My rituals included weekly briefings where I defined the why. For example, our goal this week is the speed of service to drive revenue. I gave the local managers the authority to decide how to achieve that in their specific location, provided they stayed within the culture of we. By making it cool to care, the team starts to manage itself. They aren't following my rules, they are upholding a shared standard of excellence they've seen celebrated in every team.
Something that really impressed me about you is you progressed from the restaurant manager to the director of operations. And I'm really curious, what's one of the most valuable lessons you learned along the way about leading frontline teams?
I think the biggest lesson was just the move from being the doer to being a guide. As a manager, I thought I had to be the hero who saved every shift. But when I became a director and a multi unit leader, I learned that a true leader looks in the mirror when things go wrong and out the window at a team when things go right. Success belongs to the we, but failure belongs to the me. As a restaurant manager, I succeeded by being the best doer in that room. But to scale as a director of operations, I had to realize my success was no longer measured by my output, but by how much I empowered others to output. The most valuable lesson was you can't scale a personality, but you can scale a culture.
We've heard from other leaders, culture is experienced by your managers and your leaders. And so if they're not exhibiting that and inspiring you, it makes the job less enjoyable. As a final question for today, for an operations or an HR leader listening right now, what's one shift they can make this quarter to start moving toward a we, not me operating model?
It's important for everyone to always look back and reflect on your own leadership styles and self growth of yourself, but also of your team. And with today's generation of workers and state of climates and whatnot, I believe one big thing we can all start doing is stop doing top down reviews and start doing the bottom up listening. Ask your front line, what is one thing I'm doing that makes your job harder? It's a vulnerable move, but it immediately signals that you're moving towards that we model. It builds trust faster than any corporate memo ever could. Change the way you listen. Most leaders listen to respond, but instead you need to listen to learn. Don't go in with that typical clipboard and pen. I would rather go in with a cup of coffee and have a sit down. And when you give the front line the power to identify the obstacles and you commit to removing them, you're officially transitioned into a we operating model.
Thank you so much for the
Of
time,
course.
Noah. Looking forward to connecting in the future.
Thank you so much. It was a great time. I appreciate it.